Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel, and we have stretched and reached and made it all the way out to mild melty cheese number 28, where we're looking at a French cheese called Tomme Crayeuse. I didn't just say the name of an actor. I got this in a cheese shop. It says from Hervé Mons, which is a known cheese ager, maker, provider to this channel. There's lots of things there at Whole Foods from that place. So, oh yeah, this is easy to get into. It's weird mold on the inside. Whew. Outside. I don't want any mold on the inside. So, okay. Very interesting. Look at the two-tone center. So, a tome is a rustic farm-style cheese where you just have, your herd of cows or sheep or goats or whatever, and you take all the milk that you want to turn into cheese and make the stuff, put the wheels into a barn or a farmhouse or someplace where you've got some room to age it, and then this mold grows on the outside from just whatever is hanging around. And they get a little older, so like a brie, it's aging from the rind to the center. So there's kind of a cream line. There's a creamy part here, and there's a cakey, more solid part in the center. And we're seeing all that stuff. So I'm going to have to be careful where I taste and how I cut, and pay attention to geography and topography. So this is going to be very exciting. And this one is far along its path. I've heard some sources say that these are aged a minimum of 5 weeks. And by the time, you can buy them in Europe at 5 weeks, but by the time they get to the US, they're probably a couple months old or older. And this maturation is going on. If you don't have any cakey stuff on the inside, it might be too old. this one's closing in. So we're going to have all the flavors, I think. But before I start cutting it, let me ask you to like this video, leave comments and questions, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell to get notified every time a new video comes out. So I am going to go across all the layers. I'm going to taste all of it. And I will do a little trim. Oh wow, that's soft. That creamy layer next to the rind. Soft, soft, soft. Oh wow, it's like going through butter almost. And this is at room temperature. It's not, there's a little tiny bit of chill on it. So I just want to get a little taste close to the rind. I might eat more of this later, but we'll find, we'll see. Wow. Pretty strong. Funky, mushroomy. Mushroomy. Wow, soft. Look how pliable, look how loose that is. Wow. Mushroom and fungus are the main notes. There's certainly a dairy texture, fatty mouthfeel. I'm looking for dairy notes, and it's not out at the edge in the creamy part. So Liz Thorpe mentions this cheese in her wonderful book, The Book of Cheese, and she doesn't just mention it, but this might be one of her favorites. So it is a cow milk cheese, and aroma, mushroom and milk, texture nearly gelatinous, but with a chalky center. Flavor, heavily buttered pasta with shaved truffle. Yep. In short, proof that eating dirt can be delicious. So this is a fairly new cheese invented in 1997 by Max Schmidhauser. Tomme Crayeuse is now handled by several affineurs and exporters with varying degrees of success. Although its name translates as chalky tome, it's only in France that you'll find a fresh and flaky texture. What makes it so glorious in the States is the ripening that happens during transit. The powdery, velvety gray rind breaks down a solid ½ inch of paste into gelatinous, mushroomy ooze. The inside core remains chalky, bright and tart in contrast to the drooping edges. Despite its technicolor mold patches, the rind can be quite tasty if, like me, you're into earthy flavors. And another point in her book is that she has some milder, less intense type recommendations, 3 from the chapter. She has 3 recommendations for intense types in the Havarti Gateway chapter, which I have not mentioned to you yet. But her first one is Tomme Crayeuse, one of my all-time favorite cheeses with mushroom smear under the rind and a chalky lactic center. It's increasingly difficult to find. So, I think she likes it and recommends it, but well, I'll have to find out if I do. This is really strong flavors. So I think I'm going to have another mushroomy piece here because it's so soft and not to the chalky part yet. Almost like cold butter. That's the texture, that's how pliable, that's how loose it is. And it is mushroomy, intense, truffle, earthy. Everything she said is true so far, and we haven't got to the center. So I'm going to let me get a few pieces of each kind. I think I've got a centerpiece there. Let's go on that basis. Okay. I think I'll get to taste a center part, which is more of the other flavors. Pastier, less butter-like. Oh yeah. Much less mushroomy in the center. And I don't have much center. It's less than 1/3 of the whole height of the cheese. Cakey, crumbly, tart and lactic. Very interesting. It's a good Tomme. It's very mild in the center. I wouldn't call it chalky, but it does have a crumbness to it. Very smooth, not real salty. Dairy notes in the center for sure. It's not like strong cream or butter, but it is definitely milky. And you know, not quite the mouthfeel, not quite the fat mouthfeel of the edge part, closer to the rind. So let me put it on a piece of bread. This is rye bread. And has some strong flavors of its own. Seeded rye bread, in fact. So let's see how that gets along. That's excellent. Creaminess, and I didn't get a lot of mushroom there. This must be close to the center. Oh, that's so nice with the rye and the caraway seeds. Okay, I'm going to try that with an edge piece. This one's definitely edge. Again. Oh yeah, much more mushroomy, funky, and the rye is a good complement for that too. So it doesn't matter how you cut it, the rye, a good strong rye bread is a partner for this. That's good. Now let me do a Triscuit, a low salt Triscuit, with more of an edge piece here. Strong wheat notes, but the cheese holds up to it. It's mushroomy and earthy, and it moderates some of the mushroom funkiness. So it's much less sulfury and earthy with a cracker like this. Okay, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to have to cut a little more. So I'm going to want to try this with several different things, and both parts of the cheese sometimes. It's very easy to trim the rind. Doesn't really stick to the knife. Although the cheese close to the rind is pretty sticky. You're trying to cut it. So that's edge. That's mostly the creamy part. That's mostly creamy part. And this might be a transition area between the mushroomy part and the chalky part. So I think I got a couple pieces of chalky. Oh yeah, see, it's falling apart crumbly. Okay, that'll get us through a few more parts. So, okay, this is a sweet potato cracker, 3-seed, Trader Joe's 3-seed sweet potato cracker. So with the mushroomy part. Wow, that was earthy 2 or 3 different ways, and mushroomy. That works. And I think my last cracker will be this guy. With a nice chunk of mushroomy part. Some sort of pistachio and cranberry, or I don't know what's in here. It's a contrast to the creaminess and fat mouthfeel of the cheese for sure. But the dried fruits are really tough and take some chewing. So I will not continue with that cracker. And now, let's see what other things we can do here. I'm going to take a piece close to the rind. Oh, wow, that's going to really be earthy because I didn't cut it all off. And I'm going to throw on just the tiniest amount of bacon. And I can't picture this going wrong, but we'll see. Yeah, that was very earthy. And you have to like earthy things to like that part close to the rind. Maybe with some rind. Okay, cleanse. Let me see about tomato. I've got fresh tomatoes here. Nice, ripe, and tasty ones. So let's do this. Just tomato and cheese. Flavors are a great contrast. Flavors work. There's an extreme difference between the juicy, water-based tomato and the fat mouthfeel and stickiness and cleanliness of the cheese. So that is kind of a fight they're having that plays out on the surface of your mouth. So consider that when you're doing that one. And maybe blueberries. I don't know if I can get them to sit or stay or stick. Earthy. It's more of the center by texture, but still have plenty of earthiness to it. Oh. Okay, that worked. But the 3 blueberries were not enough for a piece like this. Should have been 3. And I did want to experiment with this weird thing. I don't know. I brought corn Chex and wheat Chex, the breakfast cereal, or snack ingredient. So I'm sure it's going to be an interesting texture contrast, but I was thinking about flavors. So this is corn Chex. That works. I think I got a chalky centerpiece without the mushroomy notes. It was had dairy and corn Chex, so that's a familiar flavor combination. And I'll do a little bit more with wheat Chex, which are crunchier than any crackers and maybe a touch wheatier than any crackers. So there's 3 on this cheese. Extreme texture contrast between the creamy, fat, clingy thing and the very crunchy cereal. But the flavors of the wheat Chex didn't really jump out or pop out next to the earthiness and mushroomy notes. So corn worked and wheat didn't. Interesting. And I was going to test it with honey. And I don't have any pieces cut. I guess I'll do one more cut. And then I'll try some melty thing, which I haven't decided yet. So, well, it's going to be easy to cut for my melty thing, that's for sure. But I won't be able to shred it, will I? I'll do something with little slabs. I might be eating all the crumbs and rind part after the video. So there's an outer, and there's an inner. Okay, all I wanted to do is taste it with honey. So I'll do the safe one first. What I have here is Savannah Bee Lavender Honey, which is the subject of a review in the honey series. And I don't know how I'm going to avoid getting too much. Whoa. Okay. Maybe I just did. I don't know where to put this because I want to use it again. I can't let go. I don't want to put it on a plate. I don't want to pollute my mouth. Wow. Okay, here goes. Honey and Tomme Crayeuse. Wow, it's nice. It worked on the center part. Flavor is very compatible. Don't really notice the texture. It's just cheese and a little wetter cheese. And it was definitely not the mushroomy part, which I'm not sure will get along with the honey, but we will see. So there's my outer part. Yep. It's not double dip. Someone else may eat this. Okay, funky mushroomy Tomme Crayeuse with honey. It tempers the mushroominess and earthiness. It works, and I didn't pick up the strong intensity that you do when it's just a plain cheese. Good stuff. Wonderful honey. Works well with this cheese. So I'm going to take this piece and go melt it on something. Okay, I'm back with my melty experiment with the Tomme Crayeuse. So all I did is take a piece of white bread like I usually make the grilled cheese on and cut slabs all the way across, chalky part and the mushroomy part near the rind. And put that on the bread and put it in the broiler. And broiled until it was bubbly and browning. So I think it does qualify as a melter. But we have two different textures or characteristics here. So this darker part was close to the rind. And oily and fluid to start with. So we might have two different halves here. We'll see. So let's taste it. Wow, I'm not getting a lot of the mushroom characteristics. And the dairy notes are gone. All the mouthfeel is gone. So apparently I've totally wrecked every characteristic that makes this cheese attractive to people. This might be the chalkier center side, but it doesn't taste like it, it doesn't feel like it. This cheese is not a melter. Don't try it. If you like the cheese, if you don't like the cheese and think it's horrible, then go ahead and melt it, and all those flavors go away. There's an oiliness. There's a cheesy nature of some sort, but it's not taste and it's not texture. There's a sense that it's a cheese, but there's not much there. So, wow, that's amazing. I've never experienced anything like that. So this doesn't go in the category of melters. So I learn something new every day. That's why I'm doing the channel. So only maybe 3 more videos to go in this series. That's the cheeses I've got, and that's what I'm going to end with. So again, like the video, leave comments and questions, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell to get notified. And after cheeses, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we'll find something. We'll poke around and find something in the kitchen. So come back for all that, and cheers. Stinky. Mushroomy. Earthy.